This is Mike with Tag Roofing and Restoration. We are here at the Mann residence on Duquesne Avenue in Riverside, Ohio. We are here to perform a brittleness repairability test. As you can see, insurance has agreed to pay for some spot repairs throughout the system. You've got exposed wood over here and exposed wood here, which is what the tarps are for. So we are concerned with the structural integrity of these shingles being compromised while performing those repairs. Because in order to, as you can kind of see right here, the nail that's right here, that's underneath this shingle is actually in the top of this shingle. Okay, so this shingle, this nail. All right, so in order to repair this one shingle, this whole area has to be manipulated. Normally I'm pretty good at chalking this up. Here. So again, this entire area would have to be manipulated, because in order to get this one shingle out, you have to manipulate this one and this one as well. And then there's a couple things that we like to keep in mind while we're doing these repairability tests. First off, you know, are the shingles pliable? You know, right now it's about 94 degrees outside, so I would assume that they would be rather pliant. But whenever we go to do that, whenever we go to manipulate these shingles at all, do they start to create a crease or a crack or a tear across the top of it, which is exactly what happened to this one. So what happened was that the seal was broke by the wind, and it starts flapping around, and then it breaks off. So what happens whenever we go to manipulate these is the same thing is more than likely going to happen based on the age of these. A couple other things that we like to think about is whenever we go to separate the seal from one shingle to the next, is the material going to transfer from the bottom of the one shingle to the top of the other one. That's something that you always want to keep in mind. The granular loss, I could take you down to the gutter and show you that, you know, these shingles are pretty bad. That's overall what helps with their water shedding ability. So once you start to lose those granulars, you kind of lose the integrity of the system overall. And then into the nails again, you got to factor in what kind of nails we use. And then as we remove those nails and try and put a new shingle in there, finding the exact hole is going to prove to be difficult, first off. But then if you're using a separate nail, a smaller nail, then it's obviously going to create some kind of an air space in there where water can get in through. But either way, several things. And then the other part was, is there compatible materials, which this shingle was actually discontinued. These are the closest match to that. GAF, Royal Sovereign AR, I'm pretty sure, and clearly you can see that those do not match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of manipulate this area a little bit and kind of see what happens. Okay, so what we do is we obviously do not want to intentionally damage these shingles. So we do not lift in the entire way that you would need to for a repair to be done, because you have to keep in mind, you have to be able to get a flush hammer or nail gun in here. So this has to be lifted to almost about a 90-degree angle to get that. And then that has to happen for this entire area, and that's for every repair that you do. And again, just lightly rubbing this here, what you can see is it's starting to create this crease across the top of this shingle here. So what's going to happen is, yes, we can go ahead and repair this one shingle, but it's going to end up exactly the same here. This line right here, this crease, that's what starts to happen whenever you manipulate these shingles. And then you also have to note, again, the material transfer whenever these seals were separated. That's what you're going to see across the board with every single one of these repairs. And this entire area, plus over there and the couple shingles, you're looking at, you know, damaging almost 60 separate shingles. Overall, the system is non-repairable. This is a failed brittleness test.